Welcome everybody to AYSO's 1370 Volunteers Meeting, Coaches Meeting. This is February 2025. I'm going to go over the slideshow. The link is also mentioned on our website, AYSO Region 1370.com. But just to give you guys a little bit more information for some clarity as well. So let's get started. AYSO, we do have members, we do have board members. We're all assigned a role and responsibility within our region of 1370. Some names and contact details are right here. Obviously, referee, field supervisor, you can reach out directly, but any escalations, any questions about the program, etc., you can reach out to our board, which is our generic inbox, rc@aysoregion1370.com. We also use that email address for any generic communication. So any questions, any concerns, feel free to reach out. Some of you guys also have personal email and personal phone number, so that's all good. First things first, what's new this year? We have an FDL E2 background check that we have to comply with. It's a state of Florida mandated policy. It's not a requirement from AYSO US Club Soccer, but it's mandated from the state of Florida. So basically, what that means is all staff, coaches, volunteers must complete an FDLE Level 2 background check. It went into effect January 1st, 2025. So what it does is basically checks your criminal history in a national database. It's all for the good, obviously, for the program. You don't want, well, parents don't want their kids to be supervised by somebody who has a criminal record. So the fingerprinting is part of that. Coordination and on-site events were scheduled, and volunteers, coaches, head coaches actually got those notifications. So quick reminder that you cannot be on the field without being background checked through FDLE2. Please note this is additional to what we have in our portal. Sterling Volunteer still does the regular background check. This is just to go into the national database to cross-check everything. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. AYSO's vision and mission. This is a friendly reminder because some of you guys are returning coaches and assistant coaches and have been with us for a little bit. So obviously, AYSO is to provide world-class youth soccer programs that enrich children's lives. Mission statement to develop and deliver quality youth soccer programs which promote a fun family environment based on the AYSO philosophies. The AYSO philosophies are the most important ones, which is basically the 4 or 5 pillars that we're talking about, but it always comes back to the same thing: fun, safe, and positive environment. So these are the pillars and AYSO philosophies that they refer to. There are 6. Number 1, everybody plays. So regardless on how many practice sessions they attended during the week, everybody still plays at least half of the game. Apologies. Um, Open registration, so anybody can register with our region AYSO, regardless of the level, gender, inclusivity, etc. Um, Obviously, once you play travel soccer, we kind of it's common sense. We know that we kind of frowned upon that when a travel player tries to register. We also mentioned that they're taking away a spot from a real recreational player that is just getting their feet wet for the love of the game. So open registration, we welcome everybody to give all youth and young children, teenagers, the opportunity to register and play. Balanced teams, we do get emails in our mailbox in regards to that, KC and myself. We do not stack the team. We try to make it balanced, so every season we form new teams as evenly balanced as possible. Obviously, we do not know every player by heart. We do not know every name. We do not know their level. So we try to balance them out to provide a stronger learning experience for teams and players as they are comp are you know set up in a way where there might be a better player, a player similar ability, and a player that needs a little bit more work. But it allows for each player to experience playing with a wide variety of teammates and different skill levels. If you are a coach, you do get one request that is guaranteed. So pick and choose wisely. We want to reward the volunteers, obviously. Positive coaching. You are a coach. You can be one of the most influential people in a child's life or a player's life. So, fun, safe, positive experience for every player in AYSO. You want to encourage the players' efforts. So that probably leads to greater enjoyment, improved skills, and stronger motivation in players to come back. Good sportsmanship. You win and you lose together. There's always shaking hands after the game. So positive environment again, mutual respect, rather than a win at all cost attitude. The win at all cost attitude ties back to number one, where everybody plays. Please do not keep your best player on the field because you want to win a game. It's good sportsmanship is very important and comes back in every facet of AYSO national. Player development, obviously, when the kids come to practice, you want them to go home as a better player. People refer to it as a 1% every day. So all players should be able to develop their soccer skills and knowledge to the best of their abilities. We all understand there's ages and stages, and we all understand that everybody develops and learns in a different way, individually and as a team. Kids Zone, obviously, since you guys are all signed up as volunteers, coaches, head coaches, kids are number one. No swearing, no smoking, no vaping. Fun, safe, positive. It always comes back. There's no yelling in anger. If you feel some frustration build up, just turn around and take a couple of deep breaths there. Uh, don't forget, you are a role model, so you want to set a proper example for our kids. Show up early, clean up, be respectful, appreciate parents' time and efforts from the kids as well. AYSO, it's all about the kids. So obviously, not only coaches but also parents and players need to abide by the code of conduct. The code of conduct is the one that we all sign when we sign up. It's this just a small print going through the process there. If people read it, I hope people read it, but it's also mentioned on our website. So coaches are responsible for spectator and player conduct. So if you see and feel something boiling up or being escalated, please just signal the referee, perhaps, and just talk to the parents or have a team mom or team dad talk to them. Referees, obviously, referees are also young ones, U10s and up. We do have referees, but they're 14s and up, 16s and up in regards to age. But please respect them. They're also there to learn. Board members, obviously, myself, and then all those names that you saw in the beginning of the presentation. We administer sanctions for unacceptable behavior, suspending a game, suspending for a season. We do have a call. We gather all the information if any escalation comes in. Basically, my advice to you is if you see something, say something. Regional conduct policy, obviously, the code of conduct goes for everybody here. Any disrespectful, threatening, intimidating, otherwise derogatory comments towards players, volunteers will not be tolerated. Again, communication is key. If we don't know, we don't know. Usually we get it from the referee first, then we get it from the coaches, and then we gather information and we talk to the parents or the parties in question to gather everything, and then we come together as a board. That's our process, and then we kind of sanction that. A lot of links on the website as well. So obviously you are the coach. Now what? There are some resources on the website going from safe haven on how to conduct yourself on the field. If you want to have a talk with a player, make sure there's always an adult present. Coaching the basics. There are links on AYSO as well on what to include in the ages and stages, what your coaching tools are, etc. Obviously, we can guide you in here as well. There's a coaching clipboard. The coaching plan is probably one of the more important ones here, where you can actually structure and organize your session plan with your different activities and different coaching points that you might touch base on. This is physical periodization. I don't think that's relevant to AYSO, but obviously you cannot do the same activity for 40 minutes At some point, it's also common sense. But this is a good structured template where you can go from a technical warm up, the how, to a small side activity, 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s, etc. Then you include them all a little bit, and typically stage 3 and stage 4 can possibly be part of one where everybody's included and you just go to 6v6, 7v7 type of game to finish off the session. The lineup cards are important as well, given the fact that everybody plays at least 50% of the time. So if you want to take note of that on who's coming in and out, this is a very easy way to keep track of everything. It's also mentioned the age group and the halftime duration of the game and the size ball because we do get those questions. What size ball do I need to use, even though it's on the website? So very useful links on the website as a coach. There's some other ones here that the two most important ones here are probably the insurance. Sometimes things will happen in a game or at practice where people are injured. Um, I'm sorry, let me just, you might not see it, but this is the link for that one. So this is an AYSO incident report form. If something really happens, please reach out to us to the RC inbox. I will provide you with this link to complete. It's basically a little bit detailed information describing how the incident injury occurred, and then we just complete it. We sign it here on the bottom, and then we send it to AYSO National Risk Management, and then they will be in touch with you and the party in question on what the next action steps are. This is one that we would like to enforce a little bit more, but sometimes we can, and we give people the benefit of the doubt, which is a zero tolerance policy. Abuse towards the referee, abuse towards other kids, teammates, opponents, coaches, assistant coaches, etc. Not tolerated, obviously. So we have the zero tolerance policy documented. Obviously, we're always going to follow our process where we gather the information first from all parties involved and then make an informed decision. But it's very tricky. It's a very thin line, so we have to balance it out. This is still part of your coach education here. Um, Make sure you let all your players know to write their name on his or her ball, not the age group, but the name and the phone number. Because if you go to a different age group, then that ball, when it says U6 and you go to U8, then nobody will know. So name and phone number, any ball or anything that's left behind. We have a lost and found. It's in the trailer, so people can come out on game days or whenever the trailer is open. We have a big box there. Shin guards are very important. For the girls, also no jewelry. I see earrings a lot of the time. Just common sense. If girls are wearing earrings and the ball hits their ear and they start bleeding, that's just an example here. But again, a lot of resources on our website. This is a curriculum for different ages and stages. We also have the lineup cards here again, but this is just an example for U8, U10. It's a full curriculum that we did for AYSO. It took us a lot of time to complete it, but it tells you what we want or what we're all about, what we're looking for, and it also has the coaching points there. It's about 50 slides. It has different activities on there, so you can easily be guided that way. If you want to do a dribbling session, if you want to do a session on receiving or controlling, if you want to do, and you see that there's different activities. If you want to do a session for passing, etc. So yeah, it's about 50 slides. Shooting, obviously, kids love to shoot. So 50 slides with a lot of resources in there that we can use. Your training session, we had the template there, so obviously organization is key. You want to make sure that the kids get a lot of repetitions on there, and it is game-like. Cones are a good start, but what's better than a cone? To add actual defenders, because that's more game-like and more reality-based. So make sure that The organization is there, not too big, not too small. You want to have the kids have fun and be successful. Game-like situations. Make sure there's a lot of repetitions, so it's brain training, muscle memory. If it's too easy, make it more challenging. Add more defenders. If it's too hard, remove a defender and go back to your cones. And obviously, your coaching points. That's why it's important to have it a little bit structured, where you can actually have a coaching scenario in mind, where you can actually do a stop and freeze, or perhaps you can actually think about, hey, I can coach these coaching points where it's receiving, passing, shooting, scanning, maybe in the older age groups, etc. Body position, the speed, the angle, the timing, the distance, etc. Again, still in the coach education part. So the training session, typically you saw the stage one, two, three, four. Technical warm up, the how, which means that they get a lot of repetition, a lot of touches on the ball. Then you go into a game like situation where you go 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s, etc. And then you typically end off on a scrimmage. That's where I said the stage 3, stage 4 is kind of combined for that. Repetition is key. Avoid the three L's, lines, lectures, and laps. If they're standing in line, that means you can increase the repetition. Lectures, if you have coaching points, try to go in there 60 to 90 seconds. Don't talk for 4 or 5 minutes. We only have the kids available and the parents available for such a small time window, so try to make the best of it. No laps. If you want to do a warm up without the ball, just do your FIFA warm up with 10, 12-yard lines up and down, so you stay in your own area. You don't disrupt other people's spaces as well. That the game guidelines, again, is basically just sideline behavior and coaches' behavior. Try not to scream at the kids, but be precise and specific in your coaching points. We encourage people to build out from the back, so goalkeeper can roll or pass the ball out. Punting, we prefer not to see any punting. So you want to discuss the options with the player who had the ball before they made the decision, or maybe before they lost possession. Um, This is something that we also see in some games where they leave two players all the way in their own half, defending half. When the ball is in the attacking half, they leave two players in their own half, even on top of their 18-yard box. It's not correct and takes the game away from the players. You want them to push up and be involved in the game. So this is just a little bit more of a one pager to finish off the coaching education. Players first, all about the kids. Safe, fun, positive, patient, friendly. I'm yeah, patient and friendly. Could have mentioned that. Coaching methodology, guided questions. You know, put your head up. What do you see? What can we do with that space? Could you have made a better decision? Those are guided questions. So you let the players give the answers and think about the game a little bit more. Playing out of the back, even though there's gonna be more, there are gonna be less successes than not. To not to mention the word failures, but they're gonna be unsuccessful more than they will be successful. But it's part of the game and part of the development. The links, obviously, the website is a very good, knowledge or resource database. So please check out our website, AYSO. If you have a player, if the parent and the player in question feel that they're ready for the next level, the Point Knights FC is our travel program. It's a great program. We also house probably about 600 kids in travel soccer there next to this one. So that's a little bit more competitive. So if people are asking to play up, we don't allow people to play up. So this is their obvious next step. Second one, second section of the day, the game day. Obviously, it's all about the kids. People will ask questions. Do we have to bring a ball? How many players are on the field? Is there a goalkeeper? Yes, no. How long are the halves? Do we do quarters? Yes, no. It's all on the website. So this is just a table form. This table form is also on the website. The game schedule is up to us to post it. Obviously, we can only draft up the game schedule when all the teams are finalized. Sometimes we're still looking for coaches in during the first week of practices. So the game schedule is to be drafted up and will be available 48 uh, yeah 72 hours before game day, the first week. It also will have a second tab which mentions the volunteer contact details if you want to reach out, schedule an extra game, or reschedule a game. So you can reach out to them. Incoming team has priority if your game starts at 11 and the other team is still playing. You can have a little bit of flexibility for 10, 12, 15 minutes maybe if the coach is open to that. But other than that, the incoming team has priority. If you started late, the incoming team has nothing to do with that. We do have referees, U10s and up. So U8s and below, it's the coaches that call it. One coach calls one half of the field, the other one calls the other half of the field. So it's been going on like this for many, many decades, and people tend to like it. One thing that we do get a lot is, blowouts. Obviously, we don't know the players by heart. We don't know their level. We've tried in the past where we ask coaches to rank their players, but then coaches lie to make sure they get the player back next season. But avoiding blowouts, what can we do to avoid blowouts? If your team goes up 3 or 4 goals and you see it's a very dominant game, try to mix it up a little bit. Obviously, you have your player rotation where they will come out. Everybody plays 50% of the game. That's one. Two, you can have a positional change. If your forward is scoring 3 goals, try to play your forward in the back, right? Make it more challenging. Make your key player be exposed to different uh, game situations. Formation change. Instead of playing 1 or 2 forwards, maybe put an extra player in midfield or put an extra player in the back, right? Give the other team the opportunity and a chance to actually um, do something in the attacking moment when they have the ball. Change the challenge. We've had teams where they're dominant and you ask your players to pass the ball. Make 3 passes and then you try to score. Make 5 passes, then you try to score. Try to touch the ball 2 or 3 touches and release the ball instead of having your powering forward get the ball in your own half and dribble 4 or 5 players because they're so fast and so strong. Another one that we typically go to, which is the easiest one to do for any age group, is you add a player to the field. So the losing team can add an extra player if the differential is 3 goals or greater to try and make it more even. This is just a friendly reminder, refresher. It's nice as a coach to familiarize yourself with the laws of the game. So there are some resources out there so you can understand where the referee is coming from. All of our referees are certified. They went through the course. They know the laws of the game, so they know what's needed. But this is just a friendly reminder for coaches here. Park guidelines. Obviously, we do not own the park, but this is just an overview. Field 1 is as you enter the park onto your left. Field 2 is the middle field. Field 3 is the baseball side field. There are signs: no pets, no alcohol, no golfing, no bicycles, no scooters, no skateboards. There is uh, one more thing or a couple of things that we add. Do not sit next or behind the goals. If kids shoot for goal, you don't want to get hit regardless of what level. Do not block the hard trail when you're sitting out there. I know you might be looking for shade, but you're blocking the trail, and we will get an email or a phone call from Parks and Rec saying that somebody from our program blocked a walker for their weekly walks there on the trail. Parking spots, there are some parking spots that you will familiarize yourself with. For vendors, we do have vendors that come and support us. They are paid vendors, so if you can support them back, please do so. Weather policy is a big one. Um, Lightning and thunder, obviously. Rain is rain. It's weather, it's rain, it's water. As long as it's safe for the kids, it's safe. If there are puddles on the field, obviously it's no longer safe. So as long as it's just raining, everything is on, unless and except Parks and Rec or the county close the park. If that's the case, a communication will go out when I get notified, when we get notified as a group, as a region, that the park is closed. It will go out minutes after we get notified, so the time frame, and a timestamp comes from Parks and Rec. So that's one. Two, if there's lightning and thunder, if we see that it was severe weather all day long and we check the radar is going to be more of the same, as a region, we will cancel the sessions. The lights will go off and we will cancel the sessions. We will have a timestamp where we cancel the session. If you still want to go out, it's on you, but obviously we suggest you do not. Lightning, for when we did not cancel the session um, as a region, obviously common sense. It's mentioned on the website, it's mentioned on every newsletter that we send out for games, for practices, etc. Lightning can strike anywhere and from great distances for up to 10 miles. All players, coaches, referees, and family members must immediately vacate the field and sideline premises and seek shelter indoors. When the thunder roars, go indoors. You have to wait for 30 minutes and since the last thunder or since the last lightning. So you have to wait for 30 minutes until it has passed since the lightning strike or the sound of thunder. If the game is ongoing, you wait for 30 minutes or we just cancel the game. Most likely that will be the case that we just cancel the game. Sessions, it is up to the coach and other volunteers to make that informed and common sense decision. It is mentioned on the website, it's mentioned here, and we communicate it every time we see there's severe weather or inclement weather coming in. So rain is the coach's call. The coach will make an informed decision to have the session or not. Thunder and or lightning, we have guidelines. Less than 10 miles, you clear the field. More than 10 miles, but you see it's getting closer, we suggest that you cancel the sessions just for safekeeping. General cancellation in case of the fields being closed by Parks and Rec, we will communicate around 4 or 5 p.m. EST depending on when we get it. If there's lightning and thunder, you can resume your activities 30 minutes after seeing lightning or hearing thunder before resuming your activity. To summarize, this is the end of it. To summarize, this is just a one-pager. Summary, fun, safe, and positive. Zero tolerance for bad and toxic behavior on the sidelines. This includes parents and coaching. If you see or hear something, report it to our general inbox. The website will always have the latest version and updates. Please double check your practice and game schedule proactively. If it's unclear, please email me or email us at the RC inbox. Your rosters. We can only finalize rosters after we finalize coaches, after we finalize all registrations. So coaches, you should have received your rosters with the contact details prior to your first session. It is recommended to reach out to your parents proactively before your first practice and every game, making sure, hey, we're on field 2, 11 o'clock. Make sure you have your shirts ready. Get there 15 minutes before. Don't forget your shin guards, etc. Bring your ball, water. Use whatever communication method you're choosing. Could be WhatsApp, could be text messages, could be TeamSnap, which is a software app, could be anything. Practice schedule. The latest version will always be on the website. I will also communicate it and it will also be on the website. Make sure your parents know where to go prior to arriving on the field. Let them know we're on field 2, next to the pavilion. We're on field 3, it's next to the baseball field, all the way in the back, etc. Game schedule, mentioned that before. The latest version will always be on the website. Sometimes things will move around where coaches reach out to each other. Maybe you have a conflict and we change it in agreement with the other coach, obviously. Notify your parents where they would need to be on game days and what time. Everybody plays policy. Make sure everybody plays at least 50% of the time for every player, regardless if they showed up for practice or not. U10s and up have paid referees. U8s, U6s, playground do not have any referees. So coaches are allowed on the field for coaching and guidance because they're young. Weather policy, very, very important. Lightning and thunder within 10 miles, you cancel. A general cancellation, if we close the fields, will be sent out around 5 p.m. on practice days. If the park is closed, we will communicate as soon as we know. Coaching equipment. Every coach will receive 10 cones. You're not landing a plane, so 10 cones will be enough. And if you need more, just reach out. But 10 cones is standard default. Coaches will receive pennies, which is typically 50% of your number of roster players. So if you have 10 players on your roster and you play a game at the end of practice, it should be 5 on 5, so you will get 5 pennies. There's no need for you to have 10 pennies when you only have 10 players on your roster. They're not all gonna wear the same penny, right? So if you need more, reach out, but you will get by default 50% of your roster players. You will get your Coach AYSO shirt if they are included with the uniform order. Typically, they are. The most recent years, they have not been. After COVID, it kind of we saw a pattern there, but we will try to provide you with an AYSO shirt. So please come see the trailer on game days. Trailer is always open. Coaches will receive puck goals. It's a pair of puck goals. You can use them for your practices. Obviously, schoolyard and U6s, they use those puck goals for real goals on game days as well. They are to be returned at the end of the season. We do pay for them, so please return them so the next coach can use them. And we kind of, we buy new ones from time to time if we see they're kind of beaten up. Uniforms. Uniforms are always ordered 4 to 5 weeks before the start of the season. Usually they get here on time, typically the last week. Best case 2 weeks before the first game, but typically the last week. When they do get delivered, they get delivered at my house. So time, location will be communicated to the coaches, and then you can, as a coach, you can delegate it to somebody else to come pick it up. It's first come, first serve. The box comes with fixed sizes. They include a jersey, shorts, and socks. Um, Numbers are random, colors are random, so we have no real say from Score Sports. Score Sports is a national AYSO sponsor, so we go with them. Other stuff during the season that will get communicated. Team picture usually is a Friday and Saturday with a makeup day the next week to be determined as a third party, so relying on their schedule. Medals to be determined to pick it up. Also, we're relying on the third party to deliver them. Typically, it's towards the end of the season where they're available for pickup at the trailer. Sponsorship, we have Dick's Sporting Goods coupons that come in. Sometimes they're expired and then we're just waiting on new ones. We also have the food trucks, so the vendors on site, so please help our sponsors to come back as well. Any questions that we did not cover during this meeting or this presentation, feel free to reach out. I can add them to this presentation as well. But other than that, I think we're all set. We went over playing time, weather policy, the game day policy, the practice for you coaches, how to structure it. We have resources, and we went over the AYSO's vision and mission and the 6 pillars. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our general inbox. And from the bottom of everybody here, bottom of our hearts, we really appreciate and respect your time volunteering for AYSO. This is a volunteer-based environment, so we really, really thank you for doing this. We're all volunteers, everybody on this list, plus you guys. So this is an organization of approximately um, 80 to 100 people total. So we really thank you, and please reach out. We're here to help. There's always room for improvement. We're not perfect, but please reach out if you have any recommendations or suggestions. And thank you all for listening, and enjoy the season.